Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage, or tonight I should say, I'm just getting myself ready for a potential collection caper, as Mr. Hubnut would say. So looking at potentially buying another project vehicle, and it's 200 miles away and it's old. So I'm just putting together a few things in order to make that potential return trip a little safer and securer, so that if there's any breakdowns, any incidents, I can deal with them. So I thought I'd just show you what we're getting together before setting off early in the morning on our excursion down towards Hastings. So let's come and look what we're going to collect. So first thing is I've dug out my old portable toolbox, which is actually a socket set box, a Kamasa metal socket set box, and I tend to keep this in the T4, as the vehicle most likely to need help is the T4. And I'll just have a little check through what I've got in here first. So what's in my emergency kit? First of all, you know, the whole thing to stop rattling is in a rag. Rag, a useful thing. Then I've got a set of mole grips. I know that they're probably not made by Mole, but vice grips, call them what you like. I have a knife. I actually have two knives, but that's horrible. It's a safety knife where if you're applying pressure to the blade, it stays out. As soon as you're not applying pressure to the blade, it triggers back. Hateful thing, so you can come back out. I have a little adjustable spanner. Not recommended, but when you're in a fix, not having both metric and imperial can be a bind, so having an adjustable can be quite a useful thing. I have a heavy steel hook, which can be very useful if you need to create leverage, you need to take hubcaps off, hang things from, if you're lashing something down. I just find that a handy thing to have around. I wonder where they went. There's another set of mole grips. I've got a little pry bar screwdriver for leaving things off, a pair of needle nose pliers. I've got a penknife, a large Jubilee clip, a Phillips or crosshead screwdriver, and this one's an electrical one. And I've got a large straight blade screwdriver, again good for levering. A good bundle of my favourites, cable ties. You can do all sorts of roadside repairs if you've got cable ties. Decent quality, flexible bimetal high-speed steel hacksaw blade with one end taped up, and it's the end that allows me to push, so that can be used for cutting through bits of pipe, releasing packing tape, anything that I need a little bit of a saw blade for, and it's good for using as an emergency winkling tool should you need to break into an old car. I have some epoxy glue, 2-pack, so squirt it onto a bit of card, mix it up. You can make something hard, so sticking things together or trying to make a roadside repair, that's good. I've got a little reel, whoops, there you go, of electrical wire, and stuffed in the middle of that reel of electrical wire, let's pull this out for you, another smaller Jubilee clip, and a couple of Scotch locks, sort of emergency electrical connectors if you like. Relatively large chocolate block, again not the right size for most things, but you know you're going to be able to use it in an emergency to join wires, so he's going in there. A length of threaded bar with some nuts on and some washers on, one nylock, everything else free spinning, again get you out of trouble all sorts of ways, and a very decent set of scissors From my currently a bit tatty electrical drawer, I'm just adding my electrical screwdriver. I'm going to pop a couple of fuses, 10 amp, 30 amp, looking for a 5. There's a 5. So I've got 3 fuses and a couple of spade connectors, male and female, and a roll of insulating tape. Again, I put the little things, the little electrical connectors, inside my reel of wire and just put a stripe of tape across it. So that we don't lose them. I've also got a cheap set of ring spanners, combination spanners, actually ring and open-ended spanners in there as well. And 2 items I add because I'm going to check out a car, not necessarily for the breakdown, but obviously useful, is a decent hand lamp. So I've got this LED one, which I'm quite keen on. It's got a torch on the end or a light bar on the side, and it also you can bend it. It's got a hook on it. It has a magnet in the bottom to attach it to things, and that's useful because of course you can use the magnet to just check if it's metal or body filler. So taped over, because if I'm not buying the vehicle, then it's not mine. So it's a good idea not to scratch somebody else's vehicle. And mirror on a stick. Useful thing, means you can check out the places that are a little bit more difficult when maybe it's parked by the side of the road, somebody's driveway, can't get under things. Mirror on a stick, dead useful. Item two is a towel, because if I am going to have a problem, then being able to have a bit clean up or stick a spare wheel on top of it if I'm going to change a wheel, something like that, is quite handy. So an old towel to wrap my toolbox and a few other little bits and pieces up in is a good idea. Next, I've got a little roll of plastic sheet, tough stuff, and this is if I need to lie on the floor and scrabble around underneath the vehicle to inspect it, or again in case of emergency. For the same reason, pair of tough gloves. My favourite rags, old socks. They're my favourites because they're relatively thick and absorbent. They've got 2 sides, you can literally turn them inside out, and you can put things in them and cut bits off and make basically sort of elastic bands with them. So socks are very useful things. And 2 lengths of hose, which was a good memory jogger from my friend Gareth earlier when I was talking to him on the phone. Thank you very much, Gareth. So I've got a couple of bits of hose, bit of petrol hose and some larger diameter hose, just in case it becomes handy. Going to put my bits of hose inside a sock. Stops them keep springing undone. And then, just down on the floor, I've got jump leads. These are not the best, but will get me out of a bit of bother. And my elasticated tow rope strap with clip-on fittings both ends, so if I do need to drag anything, it's a good tow rope, but it's also again something good for lashing things down. And there we have it. And again, a tough old plastic bag's a good idea because you can use it again to carry things in, to lie on. And that is my emergency kit for my collection caper. So, we'll see you in the morning. Everybody, John here. It's 6 AM. I'm just putting some bits in the back of the Jeep, and then we're setting sail on our collection caper. So let's get ourselves underway. Kent coast, here we come. Well, 150 odd miles in, the Cherokee has done 39.4 to the gallon.
Please turn half left in 1,000 feet onto A26.
Well, there's traffic jams because we're heading right through.
Please follow the road for 3.3 miles.
It's a 15-minute wait. After a fabulous couple of hours in the company of the lovely Ali and Ben, we set sail in our T2 Volkswagen 1979 camper van called Olive Oil. Myself and my dad were driving, and Joe and my mom were in the pursuit vehicle, the Jeep. Thanks, Ben. We'll look after it.
We're off.
Hello everybody, we're on the road and
Anybody there?
me and my dad have collected the new project vehicle, and my mum and Joe are in the backup vehicle following on behind. It's not very quiet, it's not very quick, and if I'm absolutely honest, my hands are going cold. But we are in a 1979 Viking converted 2-litre air-cooled Type 2 Volkswagen Transporter, and it's another automatic. So that completes the fleet of autos, I think.
It goes very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
So we're very, very pleased so far. We bought this van off a fabulous couple in Hastings. That's Ben and Ali. Hello both. And we're taking her back to Skegness, which is a fair old distance in a vehicle you don't know in the dark. But it's going to be a great adventure. First impressions are that it's a very sound bus underneath. It's got a few little cosmetic bits and pieces to be sorted out in the bodywork, and the interior needs a lot of love, but it's honest, it's exactly what it pretends to be. It's not covered up or bodged up, it's lovely. And in terms of first driving impressions, oh, somebody pulled out in front of me, not such a good idea. First driving impressions are that she rides very well. Everything appears to work. Compared to the T25, the steering's very, very vague, but I think that's the type rather than a particular issue, but we'll look into that. There's a bit of chirping coming from the brakes as well. And because it's an air-cooled Type 2, as expected, not only is the heater a complete mystery, but not really chucking out any heat at the moment. Nothing coming out already, is there? It is the largest of the standard air-cooled carbureted flat fours, a 2 litre, but is also automatic, which is never a help in terms of performance. She bowls along very nicely. We're on A roads, rather slower A roads than Lincolnshire's, and I would suggest 45 is probably the right speed for this, and I suspect 60 will be as quick as anybody would want to drive on a dual carriageway. Anyway, talk more soon. First services in olive oil. Looking too shabby in this light. So it's got a few issues, but not so bad. So I'm going to use the tool bag for the first time on the trip, not because of a breakdown, but because in there there's a pair of gloves from my dad. There they go. Yeah, Dad.
Cheers.
Gloves.
Right, the blanket is folded in half.
Blanket is for our legs.
It's lengthways, so it's like that.
And
One is
one of my favourites, the socks. socks are coming out because it freezes up front, and they are going in the air vents. Yeah. Do you want to pop that vent out, Dad? So we managed to get a warm waft on the screen, but out of these we can get nothing but freezing cold air.
Is it going to be better?
Maybe, yeah. So we're going to use the socks to block it up and stop our hands from freezing.
Maybe if you hold that side.
Yeah. Okay. And then you pop the socks down the hole.
Do you want your tea towel? There's a tea towel.
There we go. That's brilliant. Okay. Put the sock in the hole.
You've heard of put a sock in, eh?
I don't think that's the term I meant it for.
There you go. Well, let's jam the hole up. That's all we need. Brilliant. Right, one on the other side.
Tea towel.
Yeah, I knew socks were a valuable bit of a toolkit.
You wouldn't believe how cold it's coming through there.
We would. Well, I'm going to take my coat off when I'm in there, so if you want my coat, sock it to them.
Right. Sticking the blanket on our knees. Time to get going again. Excellent. Are you going to cover us up, Joe?
Yeah. Do you want to go around the other side, Jean? Yeah.
This is the Arctic van.
Right. So we've got 60 miles left to go. We've warmed the cab up as best as we can. We've got socks in the vents.
In 50 yards.
Still haven't got the angle of the seat belts. And we've got a blanket on our legs.
Head south.
And a towel stuffed around where the handbrake comes to the floor. And we've not got pneumonia yet, so. Oh yeah, socky vents, they're working well. So, hopefully, right, last leg, we just put a splash more fuel in. And they're off. Headlights are really, really bad. We'll sort that. Right, back to sat nav. So 225 miles later, a bit of white knuckle riding because of the cold and the vague steering, we arrived safely back in Lincolnshire, and you can see we've ended up with a fabulous van. She's far from perfect, wrinkles, bits and pieces on the outside, a few scabs and scars here and there, but overall just really, really sound and honest. I'm showing you the worst bits right now. The interior is going to need a lot of love, but this is one of our project cars. So thanks for watching on To The Garage, and we'll see you again real soon.